Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about how the prefrontal cortex can influence the limbic system. Alright, these are just fancy terms for saying how the executive functioning parts of our brain can influence the emotion generating parts of our brain. Okay, so far so good. Now, within the brain we have one brain structure called the amygdala. The amygdala is basically a cluster of neurons, but you can think of it as a little tiny organ within your brain. This organ is in charge of detecting threats in your environment. And in fact, it detects the threat before you're even conscious of it. So how does this work? I'll explain it with an example. Say that I'm walking down the street, okay? And I see a tiger in the bushes, right? Or, better put, there is a tiger in the bushes, all right? Now, the amygdala is going to register that threat way before my eyes are even conscious that I'm seeing it, way before me as a person am even conscious of seeing this. So what does the amygdala do with this information? It sends two messages, one after the other. The first message that it sends is to the limbic system, the emotion generating system, specifically to the hypothalamus that's in charge of hormonal regulation and enacts a whole cascade of things in the body to mobilize you to get the F out of there, basically. So far we've established that we're walking down the street, a tiger exists in the bushes. The amygdala detects that threat way before our conscious awareness does, and it sends a message to the limbic areas of our brain to generate an emotion, to mobilize resources, to get us out of there. So far, we're not aware of this at all. Now, once the amygdala has done its role, which is basically to create an emotional response in the body, it sends the second message up to the prefrontal cortex, the part that you're more aware of. It's telling the prefrontal cortex basically what's going on. It's giving you context so you can understand the emotional response that's going on in your body. Now, there's something that we can do here, because obviously if the threat is real, then we want that emotional response quick so we can mobilize ourselves and get out of there. And then we want it also in areas of the prefrontal cortex to give it context, give it saliency, get us out of there even faster, basically. But what happens if the threat is not a threat? What happens if the tiger in the bushes is just, a couple plastic bags from Home Depot that look sort of like a tiger? Then that's where we can actually do something about it. And the thing that we can do is reappraisal. So, once the information is in our prefrontal cortex and we identify it as not a threat, we can reappraise it, change the perspective, communicate to ourselves, to our brain, to our body, that it is in fact not a threat, and this will reduce the emotional response. And why does it do that? Because the prefrontal cortex, this marvelous, incredible brain area, has little bridges, little connections to almost every single part of the brain, all the way down to the brainstem. It's amazing. So, this example can even be extended, Sometimes we can be thinking about something subconsciously or in the back of our mind, a consistent worry. This consistent worry also gets registered and enacts a cascade of events from the amygdala for the limbic system. Eventually it will get thrown up to our prefrontal cortex, and it's up to us to decide if this is an imminent threat or not. It's up to us to reappraise. We have tremendous power. We have tremendous power. Alright? Last tip that I'm going to give is that in order to reappraise situations in a more efficient way, The thing that you have to do is have a clear mind. What's the easiest way to have a clear mind? Be healthy, exercise, eat right, have a good social network, and meditate. Learn to experience your mind without distraction. Learn what it feels like to be completely human without anything going on around you. Alright, and like always, at the end of my videos, I like to recommend a book. Today, I am going to recommend A Feeling of What Happens by Antonio Damasio. Beautiful book, really complicated to read, but worth the effort, like most things in life. Alright, y'all have a good day.